Hi, House of Harrison fam. I'm back, and today we are doing roasted veggie skillet lasagna. Let's go. So what on earth is this? It's lasagna in a skillet, and it's a little bit more loose and fun and carefree than trying to do something that's constructed in a pan and takes forever. So we're starting with mushrooms, cremini mushrooms or baby portobellos. And then we're gonna come in with some zucchini and everything you want diced. It doesn't have to be super teeny weeny. That's just not how I roll anyway. But you do want everything the same size, and you do want it kind of bite size. There's a reason why we're doing this, because there's no meat in this recipe. So everything I'm doing here is to kind of replicate having meat in the dish, but without having to have meat in the dish. And if you do, like, meat skillet lasagna, that's totally cool, and maybe I'll do one in the future. But for all intents and purposes tonight, we are doing roasted veggie skillet lasagna. So we got the zucchini cubed up, and we're going to do the same thing to this beautiful yellow squash. And we're going to break that down just like we did the zucchini and the mushrooms. Now I got a little bit more work going on here because it's way bigger than the zucchinis I got. So just take your time. You can see I'm cutting this actually into 4 pieces. Or 4 strips, and then I'm going to go ahead and break it down into cubes. So take your time with this. No need to rush at all. And there we go. We're going to throw it in the bowl with the zucchini. And now we're going to start roasting. First things first, when you're roasting, have some sheet trays and some parchment paper for easy cleanup. And you are going to have your olive oil ready to go. I have Mediterranean today. That's my favorite, that or Spanish. And you can see I'm going pretty ham with the olive oil. Why? Because mushrooms, yellow squash, and zucchini are like sponges. And I'm not kidding you. They will soak up the olive oil. You're going to put it on there, and you're going to come back and be like, where did it go? So don't be afraid to be liberal with the olive oil. And there goes my usual seasoned salt jar. But today I have a surprise. I have my seasoned salts with my label ready to go to be sold. Yes, I have my Etsy site. You can see my hand is so excited. I sell my seasoned salt along with other various gourmet items on Etsy. Check me out. I'll have my link below. So now we're taking that said seasoned salt, and we are evenly and generously distributing it over the mushrooms and the squash and zucchini. I am being heavy-handed with it. Why? Because mushrooms and zucchini and yellow squash don't taste like anything, and we need it to taste like something. Otherwise, this would be a pretty lame dish. So yeah, I'm going really ham because, again, these are like sponges. You want to take the opportunity while you're roasting them to impart that flavor. It's just going to add more depth to the lasagna when we're all done. And then we're going to come in with the good old black pepper. I'm doing about 30 to 40 cracks per pan because we got a lot of veg going on here. So again, season it up. And then we're going to go ahead and stir it around. This is the point in time we're going to stir and be like, where did all my olive oil go? So you can see that I have my olive oil in hand, ready to go ahead and come through with a second dousing. I guess that's the word that I want to use. Maybe not dousing. Well, no. Yeah, dousing of olive oil. So after we stir that up, yep, there we go. Olive oil coming in hot, and yes. So after we do that, we're actually putting that in the oven to roast at 425 degrees. We're going to go for 20 minutes. Start checking it after 20 minutes. You may need to go for 30. And while that's roasting, we're going to dice up our aromatics. So we have shallot. I prefer shallot. more than onion because I just feel it kind of melts into the sauce. That's just me though. So if you can't get shallot, use a small white onion. And then I have 6 or 7 cloves of garlic today. So I'm cutting off the ends and I'm smashing each one. And after we smash, we're gonna go ahead and peel the garlic cloves to get rid of the paper or the skin. Once we do that, we're gonna go ahead and dice them up. Now, I'm sure you've noticed, I am not a professional dicer. I'm just not. And, you know, big hands, big fingers, so on and so forth. I just feel more comfortable taking my time with cutting. Some of you might be professional chefs and, you know, you may whiz through this in 2 seconds flat, and more power to you. But that's just how I roll. Y'all pray for me. Anyway, moving on. So we got all that diced up. We're going to go ahead and go around our pan 6 times with our infamous olive oil. We're going to add that to the pan after it's been heated for a couple minutes on medium heat and start sauteing this. Now, we're not looking to get a whole lot of color on the onion and the garlic. We just want it to soften. So literally sauteing this over medium heat for maybe 5-6 minutes. And I want to take time to talk about my pans. I really love these pans. I got these off of Amazon. It was a nesting set and it's called Mmmmmmm. And these suckers, they're really versatile. They take on a lot of heat and they disperse it really well. So you don't really have a whole lot of hot spots. Everything gets cooked evenly. You can even put these in the oven. I'm in love with these. I'm going to put them in the link below, and they're really, really affordable too. I think I got this set for maybe 40 bucks. Or so, but yeah, well worth the investment. What is that on my spoon? That is my tomato jam. Yet another item I'm selling on my Etsy shop. This stuff is bananas. I use this with, you'll see this, that was like the second video I made after my vegan red beans and rice. And I was using that as with a cheese tray before. This, I'm actually using this in place of tomato paste. Tomato paste is used to traditionally thicken tomato sauce, but this, y'all need to try this. It's amazing. Moving on, so I have my passata. Passata is basically a finely pureed tomato sauce product, no seeds, no skins or anything. And I'm using 1 jar of that, or 1 bottle of that, and I'm rinsing it out with alkaline water to get the rest of it out. And then I am following up with 2 smaller containers of pommy. Pommy's great because they come in the little square, the Tetra cubes, so you can keep that on your counter, or not your counter, or in your pantry for a few months, 6 months or something. It's airtight, so you can just, you know, leave it there and use it when you want to and it won't go bad. So I'm using 2 smaller containers of those just because I didn't want to use 2 bottles of passata. That would mean a lot of sauce for what we're cooking today. So, and we just don't need that much. But the 2 containers of pommy, that worked out well. Then we're gonna go ahead and throw in a few sprigs of thyme. This is dried. It was fresh, but I like to leave it out and let it dry. Just for long-term keeping. And I'm just throwing the whole stem in there. What's going to happen is that the heat and the boiling of the sauce is going to cause the thyme to fall off, the actual leaves, and then you can just pull the stems from the pot. And it works out really, really well. And there goes the pepper. You know, you got to have pepper. And then we are seasoning our sauce. You're going to notice that I'm going to be seasoning heavy with this sauce, and that's for a reason. I'll get to that later. And then we're going to go ahead and add our little chili pepper in there. I like a little bit of warmth to my sauce, and that chili pepper provides it. It's just a small half of one. It's nothing super huge. And then, yep, see, over seasoning. The reason being is once we add the pasta to the sauce, we're actually going to add water to it. And with that water, you still want to make sure your sauce tastes like sauce and not watered down tomatoes, because that would be gross. So about 25-30 minutes passed for these. We're pulling them from the oven. This is what they look like after they've been roasted. They got great color. They smelled really, really good too. And we're just letting them chill out a little bit before we add them to the sauce. And I just literally let the sauce simmer for like maybe 5 minutes while we were pulling the veg from the stove. And After the veg cooled just a teeny bit so I could grab the parchment paper, I pulled up either ends of the parchment paper and used it as a funnel to go ahead and pour the veg into the sauce. I'm doing that for both the zucchini and yellow squash, and then I'm going to go in and do it with the mushrooms. There they are. Mushrooms away. If you don't like mushrooms, you don't have to use them. I love mushrooms. You can easily double up on the zucchini and the squash if you want to, or get creative with other veg if you feel like it too. And I'm going to be adding another ingredient that could also possibly take the place of the mushrooms as well. If that's just not your thing, I totally get it. This is a really, really flexible recipe, so don't feel like you have to follow it to the T. And if you're a meat eater, you can substitute ground beef. You could use sausage. You could use ground chicken. You could use short ribs would be awesome in this. You could even do oxtails. Oxtails after they've been cooked initially, you could even use that in the base of the sauce. That would be awesome too. So got all the veg in there. We scraped off all of the bits that was on the parchment paper because that's great flavoring. And then we're just going to go ahead and cover this up and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so. Now, here's that ingredient I was talking about, textured vegetable protein, or TVP. This is big in the vegan and vegetarian world. It's an alternative to meat and it's high in protein. So I went ahead and reconstituted what equals about a cup with some veggie bouillon, and that is going to also add to the whole kind of meaty experience. And this kind of tripped me out because I've eaten TVP, like when you get like the soy protein from the store, soy chorizo from the store, but this is my actual first time cooking with it or making it myself. I cooked with it a lot. This is the first time I made it myself, and it tripped me out. Like as soon as I started into the sauce, it looked like it was a meaty sauce. It was really cool. So we're gonna let that simmer again for maybe about 7 to 10 minutes, and then we're gonna go into the next step. So after it simmered, I went ahead and put some to the side and put it in the freezer because it was such a big batch of sauce. And we are seasoning yet again because we're getting close to the point where we're going to go ahead and add in water. And believe me, you do not want any kind of watered down tasting sauce. That would be gross. So I got 2 cups of alkaline water here to start. We might have to add in more once we get all of our pasta in there. And I have just regular flat lasagna noodles. I like those better than the curly ones. The curly ones just aren't my bag. That's just me though. Use whatever you got. And then I have 12 sheets total, just dry pasta, and I'm breaking them down by 2. You break them down however you want to. And I'm just sticking them in the sauce, literally. And we're gonna go through all of those. I actually did 10 to start because once you add, you can't take away. You can always add those other 2 or add more later. But just to see where I was at with 10, I stopped there. Now the goal is that you want to make sure that everything is pretty submerged under the sauce, under the sauce. You don't really want anything sticking up because that water is going to get soaked up by the pasta, therefore making it thick once more. The starch from the pasta is going to get released and it's going to make it thick and pretty. I decided to go ahead and add in the extra noodles. It seemed like the sauce was thin enough because of the water where I could go ahead and get away with doing that. You don't want to have more noodles than sauce. We're not trying to make soup. We are trying to make a pasta here. So in this case, after eyeballing, and it just seemed like the right thing to do. I'm going to follow up with a bit more water. We can definitely do that. We took out like a heavy insurance policy on this with all the seasoning that we put in there. And stir it together. And I'm actually going to add one more noodle just to be sure. It just looked like it could take one more. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to go for it. You're going to let this cook with the pasta for 20 minutes, and you're going to start checking the consistency of the pasta after 20 minutes. And this is what it looked like after the initial 20 minutes. You can see the noodles are definitely starting to give a little bit. They're not quite tender yet though. So I'm gonna follow up in another 10 minutes. Fast forward, this is what we have after 30 minutes of cooking. Right now it's on medium heat. And then while that's simmering, I grabbed my ricotta cheese that I'm using. I'm actually using almond ricotta instead of regular ricotta. I like almond ricotta better actually than regular ricotta. If I'm going for like, you know, actual milk-based ricotta, I like the homemade one rather than the packaged one. I just think it tastes better and cleaner, but this is more affordable and I love almond ricotta anyway. What was that? That is our mozzarella we're using. This is different though. This is called burrata. And burrata is beautiful. What is going on? So we had the ball of mozzarella and now it's all cut up. And why is it so soft? So what burrata is you take the full fat mozzarella, but then inside you take the mozzarella curd and you mix it up with heavy cream, and then you put it inside the mozzarella ball and you close it up. And that's what we have going on here. So we have the mozzarella cheese mixed with the heavy cream, and oh my god, it's amazing. I actually love doing pizza with this, with some really good tomato sauce and just the burrata cheese. If you really want to go ham, then you can go ahead and use like really good pepperoni with that. It's amazing, even though I don't eat pork anymore. But for those of you who do, try that out. It's awesome. So anyway, I'm using my bougie burrata in this lasagna. You know, this lasagna almost came off being vegan, but they didn't have the vegan mozzarella in the store when I went shopping. So we ended up having burrata, and now it's just vegetarian. Moving on, so we have Parmesan cheese, and we're gonna just go 3 times around the pan over the top. We're not gonna go ham with the parm because we got cheese galore in this sucker. And I'm just letting it melt for about 5 more minutes. And now we are plating up. I'm really excited for this. It turned out beautiful. I've done my share of veggie and skillet lasagnas and meat skillet lasagnas, but this is something special, and I'm really glad I get to share it with you today. So plate it up as much or as little as you want. I'm hungry, so I'm going a little bit more. I guess that's decent. So we're gonna top it off with olive oil, but before we do that, we're gonna add some shrubbery to say that it's healthy. I guess it is healthy. It's healthy. You know, the cheese is protein. We got plenty of veg in there. We got our carbs. It's great. But you know, a little bit of shrubbery just to make it pretty. And we're gonna finish it off with olive oil just to be fancy. And there you have it. We have our veggie skillet lasagna. Now for the taste test. Me and my extra intellectual self tonight with the braids and the glasses. Yeah, I'm hot. I know I'm hot. I'm about to eat this hot lasagna too and see how it works out. And you can tell I'm happy. So, ooh, you got a full circle dance on that one. So that means you're going to be happy too. I hope you guys like this one. I hope you try it at home. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments below, and hit the bell to get notifications. And yeah, that's all I got tonight. Love you guys. Bye. Hi guys, I wanted to pop in. Thank you for watching. And I hope that this was awesome. I hope that you loved it. And also make sure you comment below. Let me know what you'd like to see on my channel, because I love to cook just about anything. So please leave your suggestions, your desires, and we'll see if we can make it happen. So Right now I'm at 62 subscribers, which is really awesome, especially since I just started this channel in April. And I'm really putting the pedal to the metal and, you know, committed to making this channel grow and to give you guys content that is going to, you know, just make you laugh, warm your heart, and make you feel like you're at home. The other thing I want to do, because it's the giving season, I am doing a giveaway of my seasoned salt that I use when I cook, and also the tomato jam that was featured in today's recipe. Yes, so this is a $20 value and it will be yours. My heart to you. Yay! How do you enter? First of all, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, because the goal is to hit 100 subbies by the end of December. That is the goal. So that's the first thing. And then after you do that, make sure that you leave a comment below saying subscribe. And so the drawing is going to happen at the end of December. It's going to happen December 30th, just because I know that we're celebrating the holidays, all that stuff, and we're focused on, you know, making it as happy and as inviting as possible. And I want to give everybody ample time to go ahead and focus on what they got to do at home, and, you know, give ample time to go ahead and, you know, get those numbers up. We want House of Harrison to be a household name. So December 30th, I will go ahead and put everybody's names into the drawing, and I will go ahead and let's do two winners. Yes, let's do 2 winners. $20 value, tomato jam, seasoned salt. This is super awesome, and it is smoky because of the smoked paprika. And, you know, seasoned salt, it's just like salt elevated. It just rounds everything out. It's not just one note, it's multiple notes. So yeah, this is something, this should be a regular in your cabinet. So, and tomato jam, it's vegan, it goes with meat, it goes with non-meat, it goes with everything. It goes with a spoon and into your mouth. This stuff is amazing. So yes, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, share it on your platforms. We want to grow this channel. And also make sure that you leave a comment below that says subscribed. I will do the drawing on December 30th and pick the 2 winners then. So until then, I'm really excited, and I will be back next week with a new video. Thank you guys for watching. It means everything to me. Love you guys. Have a good night.